If you're like me and you consider yourself to be a successful person in life, whether it be professionally, financially, relationally, physically, spiritually, on and on and on, then you know there's a basic principle that you apply to every one of those ends of the spectrum. And it's what can be referred to as the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. I know you don't like to hear the word stupid, but emphasis on simple. You keep it simple because the more complicated you make it, the more complicated success becomes. Because the journey towards success is already long, arduous, and ongoing, pretty much forever. It never ends. And so the message for today is going to be as simple as possible, in that your ability to achieve success is because you haven't defined what success looks like, also known as a goal. And without goals, there's no way to measure success. So let's keep it simple. Here's some data that absolutely hurts my already limited brain. And I don't know how you have access to this type of shit and it doesn't hurt you and make you just feel all kinds of uncomfortable. It is said that only 13% of people worldwide, like in the fucking universe, feel engaged at work. Over half of people who do work are quote unquote unhappy. And in another report, over 77% of employees reported that they feel burnout, partly due to job dissatisfaction. What the fuck are we doing? I don't understand it. Somebody help me make it make sense. Because a large majority of what we do, the success we feel, the fulfillment in us is predicated on the contributions we make with ourselves as people. Simple and plain. I say this as regularly as possible. We have to be contributors to society to feel valuable. Otherwise, how do we quantify our existence? So work, whatever it is, the effort you put in order to receive and be compensated in the world as a human. What are you doing? Why are you where you are? How did you get there? And most importantly, why are you still there? Why? 13% engaged? What are the other 87% doing? Why are you not engaged? What are you doing while you're not engaged, unhappy, and dissatisfied, and all burnt out from being unengaged? Let's keep it simple. Goal. Let's go through the logic. If you were a ship and you wanted to make sure that the ship got to where it needed to get to, first of all, the ship has to be a ship and have all the parts required to make the ship move. We get that. And then once that ship is a ship that passes all the criteria for being able to move, it needs a captain, some crew members, and then it needs a destination, direction, a goal. And given all these things, set off on its course, out of 1 million trips, 999,999 times, I'll give you one for the sake of there's always some fuckery in life. But it'll almost always be successful because it knows where to go and it's being directed and steered towards a goal, a target, a destination. Simple. Now, take the same ship that has all the same moving parts that allow it to make it a moving, functioning ship. Remove the captain. Don't put any crew members. And don't give it a course, a target, or a destination. Forget the fact that we can all agree that you do this 1 million times. 1 million times that ship will get nowhere. or it'll crash if it does even move. But the real point of emphasis, aside from the fact that it's destined to crash, is that it won't even, and it shouldn't really, move. Because how does it know where to go? And so you've guessed it. You are a ship without a captain. You are on the fast path to nowhere. The difficulty with that is, unlike a ship, which is pretty much dumb, doesn't know any better, doesn't have a conscience, or isn't aware, you are secretly aware of this. You are secretly conscious of this. And therefore and thereby, it is impacting how you feel about life. Because if you're waking up day after day, minute after minute, hour after hour, week after week, month after month, year after year, and you've gotten nowhere, then you found yourself in a situation where you feel unengaged, unhappy, and dissatisfied. These are real things that happen without a destination, without a target, without a goal. And so now you're like, Jeff, I get it. What do I do to get all intentional, all directional, and on a path of goals? First and foremost, there is logic and principles that apply in order to ensure you don't just set goals, but you're able to sustain, scale, and ultimately achieve and accomplish them. Because as I said from the beginning, goals allow you to measure where you are, show some progress, and ultimately achieve the level of success you're looking for. So firstly, a lot of times we do too much too fast and therefore expect too much too quickly. That's a lot of where the New Year's resolution things come from. Get a quick whim. I'm going to do this. Go hard for like a week, and then you crash. The point of this is this. The goals can't be ambiguous. They can't be kind of too vague. They have to be clear, concise, and specific. For example, if you were like me a couple years ago when I was 230 pounds, you can't just say, I'm going to go lose weight. How much weight do you want to lose? If you want to make money, you can't just decide, I want to make millions and millions and be, just the wealthiest man alive. How much money, how many millions do you want to make? The reality to that too is some of you might be more good with a couple 100,000 than you realize. You can't just say, I want to go in and work for myself and break free from the rat race and working for the man. Well, what do you want to do for yourself? Entrepreneurial lifestyles sound all great and good, but what specifically are you doing? The target must be clear. There has to be an objective. You have to know what the end destination is. And here's why the end destination is important, right? Back to the boat and the ship. Once it knows where it's going, all of a sudden, a route opens up. Now that route, that path, that yellow brick road, it's invariably different depending on the goal that you set for yourself. But without knowing where you're going, you won't know where to go. And if you don't know where to go, then you can't march towards where you're going. It's pretty logical and makes sense. You have to know explicitly where you are going to end up, and that'll open up your path. And now if you're still watching, you're writing down your destination, you're waiting for the path to open, and this is the part of the show where I guarantee you, unequivocally, undeniably, and unambiguously, that everything you set out for, that the goal that you're looking to reach, you will 1,000% be successful at reaching that destination, at making it to the other end of the spectrum, at completing and conquering the journey exactly as you see it. And the truth I have for you is, I cannot, I will not, and I don't know. But what I can share, what I will allow to absolutely be a takeaway if you care, as someone who is like you, who is on my own path, who is on my own journey, who has my own destination and vision in sight. And maybe it's to break the internet one day. The fact is this: whether or not I actually break the internet, whether I achieve that end result, what happens when the path opens is that every time I make an attempt, every time I walk and march and move forward, every time I overcome an obstacle, and every time I do what I said I was going to do, I feel engaged, I feel happy, and I feel fully satisfied. And if for nothing else, regardless of the outcome, it is much better and much more desirable than the alternative. For to not have a goal is to not have a path, is to not be on a journey, and is to stand still until you can't stand anymore. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Stay rich.